It's looking at the internal meaning, the poetic truth underneath this line in the Bible. God will send his angels before you. You know, that idea of angels going before us, and that's all part of the truths that we start to develop in our lives. The wisdom we start to develop would be another way to say it. And the quote we looked at yesterday, I want to keep on talking about because I just think it's a beautiful one. Genuine truth comes gradually, and gradually replaces the previous truth, which was not inherently true, but was a means to genuine truth. So again, very deep, sort of dense theological language, but there's a lot of beauty in that. And it's this idea of truth in the round. So much of life is this, and it's an occupational hazard, frankly, for pastors, is this like there is one truth. That's it. There's just one truth, and we're going to guide people to that one truth. And so much of life is the way we all hold that, right? I mean, just look at how the way outsized power we put in politics today, you know, where it's like there is one truth, there's one way to see it. Anyone else, you know, is on the outside looking in, and our job is to convince everyone of our one particular view. That's not how the U.S. was set up. The Founding Fathers didn't set it up that way. And it's same spiritually. You know, spiritually, it's this idea of life in the round that when we really start to understand genuine truth, what starts to happen, and we could use plural here, is we start to understand there are genuine truths, that there's this idea of something in the round that we only can really get to if we start to invite in other people's experience. Now, does that mean truth is relative? Absolutely not. Like true north is true north is true north. But as we're navigating north, as we're saying, all right, this is north here, we have to remember that other people are coming to this particular issue or decision or wonderment, and they're all coming to it from their own perspectives. And our job, while still embracing that north is north, is to include all those, because all of those will help to inform and make better decisions and help us to become more and more wise. I think that's super important. And it sounds like a paradox, but I definitely see it all the time with people who are really effective working with others. They have this way of making everybody feel included, that everybody's voice matters, and at the same time that we are going this direction. So what would be an example of that? Well, one of the ones was a paper I went 25 years ago or so by a very well-known pastor, Reverend Daniel Goodenough. He's a professor of mine in seminary, and he talked about how angels learn, and the idea of how angels learn. There's stories about this, and he said, isn't it interesting that the way angels learn, it's always done in the round, north, south, east, and west, the 4 points of the compass. And they all kind of sit around and they talk about what is true. And I thought, boy, that really kind of nails it, right? That is life in the round. And that's what we have to learn to really embrace. Again, all going one direction, but inviting many different voices. What would be other examples of that? I just think at a far more pedestrian level is, you know, we do New Church Live. I think one of the things we've done that, you know, there's a handful of things I think that we've done really well, like about three. But one of those three is sermon writing team, and that's the longest running small group we have here at New Church Live. It's been going for 18 years. We meet on Thursdays, and what we do is we chat about the sermon in the week ahead. And it's always done in the round. Like, you know, there almost is never a time, I can't think of a time actually, where I had the idea and it didn't need any refining. I just kind of presented it to people. They gave me a nice round of applause. Check, that doesn't need any work, and left. No, it's in that conversation that things really start to happen in the round. That is critically important, folks. And it's not about giving ourselves up or like, you don't have a voice, just listen to other people. And it's certainly, I can't say it strong enough, it certainly is not saying that truth is relative. It's not saying that at all. But it's saying, like, how do we continue to evolve and just realize that other people have these different perspectives, and that our job is to kind of bring it all together as best we can and continue. And that's why, tying back to yesterday where we said, you know, this idea of genuine truth, it's something that moves from certainty to faith. You know, people who are certain can be certain of that they have the truth, can be pretty darn certain they're dangerous, you know, because it's not like one person has it. It's not how it works. And we all have a piece. We all have a point of view. I think that's really important. And so we have to allow genuine truth to really point us to this deep faith and this deep trust that in the end it all works out. And that faith, you can see, friends, like take that idea of faith, that idea of this beautiful interplay, and combine it with this beautiful interplay of people that we have in our lives as we start to figure out ways to move forward. It's a beautiful concept, right? Because it's this faith that God has brought us together, and here we get a chance to work through some hard stuff, and we get a chance to work through some hard stuff together. And there is this direction that we're all trying to go. And, that's the job of a real leader, to say like, hey, that's true north. That's the direction we're going. Help us to get there, saying that to other people. But that faith becomes this beautiful, I don't want to use this kind of a silly metaphor, but this beautiful warm blanket that just holds it all, because it's trust God in that process. And we trust the process, and we trust that something will come out of the other end of it that is of value. And we can practice that in so many different parts of our lives. I mean, I think you could probably get a bunch in your head right now, thinking through that and thinking through ways that you can exercise that today, that idea of life in the round. And if there was one little line, and again, I feel like, boy, we could say this probably, we do 10 minutes of calm. We probably could preach on it 3 times a week. It's just to be curious, continue to be curious. Have your convictions, have your idea of true north, have your idea of where God is calling you. Speak to that. And at the same time, marry that idea, that genuine truth that God has given you to see, marry it with this idea of curiosity, because that's a genuine truth as well, that we need to be curious. And then all of a sudden, all these little building blocks of truth, they start to all stack up in rather unique ways. And then they spider out into all these connections, allowing us to be really connected with other people. So that's the idea for today, friends. I hope that makes a lot of sense. And what we're going to do now is we're going to shift gears, and we're going to downshift here. What we're going to do is we're going to do a little prayer. We're going to do a little meditation from the Old Testament, a little prayer, a little blessing, and then we'll say hi to our friends on Facebook. So with that, dear friends, let's get a little breath. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, take care. God bless. Oh, wait, we forgot to look at the comments there. We got a couple minutes here. Hold on. Let's do that real quick. I am just trying to get one step ahead today, and it's, missing some steps here. Linda, good morning to you. Rita, good morning to you, my friend. And Marcus, as always, good morning to you, and thank you for all your help. And now flipping on over here. Greg, it is so good to see you. Greg, I hope you're doing well, buddy. Martha, good morning to see you. I hope you're doing well this morning too. And again, friends, love to see comments. Again, most people leave them later in the day as we work through archive services. Always love to hear from people. Listen, have a great